A joint effort between the private sector organization of Jamaica and the Jamaica Constabulary Force to initiate transformation in individual communities. Project STAR is into its third year, and already the shoots of progress are evident. This is Lead Story, CVM TV. My name is George Davis. At the top, what we will do is to set the tone for the discussion by presenting a package that we prepared, just reminding you about what Project STAR is, its aim, and you'll hear a little bit about those who are benefiting from the change that's happening right before our eyes.
STAR is known widely for economic and social transformation, but what some may not be privy to is that we have a psychosocial pillar that we do support heavily. Counseling is one of the programs that we push at STAR because we know that some of them need a safe space to unpack that grief, that anger, that pain, and they know that STAR is a safe space. So we meet them where they are, go to the corner, go to the shop, because they don't necessarily come out of the space, but STAR is willing to go to them, and when we go to them, we offer them that space to unpack. And so though we have the sports program and employment program, we use that program to get them in, but we channel them through our psychosocial programs, because we do know that for change to last, for it to be sustainable, it needs mindset change. And so we are able to have the guys on the corner street who we just want to kick a ball, to having them just up in a suit and tie at our launch for Dress for Success, you know, in jobs right now. So that's the STAR approach, because it's a holistic transformational approach. Yes, we have economic, yes, we have social, but the psychosocial development is the anchor for all our projects. So
I have with me this evening Kalando Wilmoth. He is the External Relations Lead for Project STAR and a sponsor and co-chairman of Project STAR. Keith Duncan is with me as well. Good evening, gentlemen.
Thank you, George.
All right, good.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome, sir. You wouldn't mind the older gentleman going first?
No, I don't.
He has more grace than you, or doesn't he?
Yeah, I respect my elders.
There you go. Keith, Project STAR has 2 years in the bag.
Yeah.
We're seeing change based on the map of the progress intended at the start of the project. Are we on track?
We are definitely on track, you know, I'm very happy with where we are. It takes a lot of work and effort to build the trust in these communities, because they have seen so much of this before.
Yes.
And they have seen it in spots and in inconsistently applied, coming from NGOs, multilaterals, government agencies, but no integrated approach to community development where you engage with the community for the community to lead, to own, to participate, to drive the change, to make it sustainable. That is the critical element that we have been able to do, to build trust in the communities. And we're in there for 5 years. So therefore you show consistency, you're there, you have a presence, you build out the governance structure within the community through the community transformation boards to start from what are the issues, data-driven, evidence-based, to determine what the issues are, and how do you go about solving these issues and designing a community activity-based plan within the pillars of social transformation, economic renewal and transformation, and community ownership and leadership. And you design those programs to effect sustainable change across communities. So I'm very happy with where we are. We have gotten the support of the private sector.
Yes.
How we actually got here was because, as president of the private sector organization of Jamaica, I recognize that Jamaica had gotten to a place where we have achieved macroeconomic stability.
Yes.
It's time to focus on human capital development.
Yes.
Meaning education, community development. Focus on that fiscal space that we have created. Pay attention, love and care to the people of Jamaica.
Yes.
And the most marginalized and most vulnerable are those who live in these communities.
Yes.
Vulnerable, volatile, with crime rates which are higher than the national average.
Hear you on that. After the break, we'll hear from Kalando Wilmoth and advance the discussion further as we look at Project STAR 3 years into a 5-year cycle, just what it's achieved already and what is poised to chalk up further down the line as additional achievements. More on Lead Story after this.
mammogram can shape your motherhood. The Jamaica Cancer Society, helping women now. Visit the website at jcs.live. Early detection saves lives.
Welcome back to a lead story here on CVM TV, talking about Project STAR into its third year. And we have been told that it is on track in terms of what it was designed to achieve, as the enablers and those who do the heavy lifting try to improve communities one at a time and try to give greater possibilities to those in communities which are usually hotbeds of violence, trying to show them an alternative to the life of crime, pretty much trying to help them to escape the fate. Kalanda Wilmoth is the External Relations Lead for Project STAR. Kalanda, from the perspective, well, Keith made a very important point in the opening segment about the appetite for the program that is evident among the people under the target of Project STAR. And I'm going there because I know from speaking with several individuals who work with foreign entities over time who've done social intervention in Jamaica, the feedback I get, which I believe because these are friends of mine who I trust they said, George, social intervention is not working in Jamaica. We've spent millions of dollars over time throwing money at the problems, and the people don't want to really get involved in social intervention, but they take the benefits of the social intervention programs, they won't work. And yet, I'm saying, well, why is Project STAR making improvements greater than incremental improvements and looking as if it is a winner in the making, in the formulation? So I say all of that to ask, the people and their appetite for what Project STAR delivers, what's that appetite like?
Well, the appetite looks a little bit like over 3,000 people already involved right across our 5 communities. If we look at the community...
And those 5 communities again, quickly?
5 communities. We're in Rose Gardens, Parade Gardens, Maypen, three areas in Maypen.
Sav.
We're in Sav and Salt Spring. Salt Spring is our 5th community.
In St. James.
Yes. So when our approach is to be community informed, community-led, community-owned. That's sort of our philosophy. And STAR is broken down into 3 areas. It's social and social inclusion and cohesion, economic development, and partnership for development. So when I said the 3,000 people so far in our first 2 years, we take an approach where the solutions to the community's issues, we believe the community residents know the answers. We believe that if we come alongside and provide support, so our approach is to match resources with what people say they want.
Yes.
Because they understand it better than us. So it's not a, we already have the answer. It's a, okay, we have some resources. You know what's going on in your space. What's the solution? How can we help you to achieve it? So we have over 3,000 people engaged in the Community Transformation Action Plan. This is a process where we say to the community, tell us what are the challenges you're having. And they say, how do you think those challenges can be solved? They say, and then we would take it, do a little bit of a prioritizing, if you will, of the process, bring it back and say, okay, so based on what you said, these are your top issues. Can you identify the top issues? They identify them. And this is a collaboration with partners on the ground, because again, we said the third part is partnership for development. So you have your SDC on the ground, you have the police on the ground. We are working with the CTBs consist of businesses on the ground, community leaders on the ground, etc., young people, the works. And once we identify and the community identify for themselves what the solution is, then we go to the next step. We literally go on the street in the community and say, hey, you know, your fellow community residents have said these are the main problems. Are you in agreement, etc.? And then we sign off.
Yes.
And the principle we operate on is when the residents are involved, it's going to be more effective.
Yes.
It's going to be more sustainable.
Yes.
That's our end goal.
But quickly, let me ask you this. For those who haven't yet Project STAR visit upon their communities, who are thinking, so what is this? Is this something that I sign up to and at the end of it, them give me a work?
Okay, so the economic part of the 3 is employment.
Yes.
So some people will get a work, as you said.
Yes.
But our approach is what makes the difference. Before we train people, which is a collaboration with Heart, again, partnership, before we train, we screen. You saw the video earlier with the young lady, Mishka, one of our project officers, talking about what we do with preparing people for work. Sometimes when you screen, you find that a person is not really ready for work, even though they think so. So we tap our partners, whether it be the NCDA or we tap
drug abuse.
National Council on Drug Abuse, or we have a partnership with Grace and staff. They give us some hours with a counselor. And so people may need some little mental preparation. You may need a little you need some support to come over the line to be ready to go into work because of what work demands. And so when we screen and we find that somebody is not yet ready for work, we put them on that stream, and then when they're ready, we put them back.
And put them into a training program after that.
Right.
Yes.
When they go into training
Yes.
and they are employed, we have post-employment support for up to, I think, 12 months.
Yes.
Because it's important, does the person still have the job after 3 months,
Yes.
6 months,
Yes.
12 months, a year? Does the person now have health insurance? Do
Yes.
they get paid vacation? The quality of life
Yes.
is changing.
Yes.
They're getting work experience now. They can look about getting further training to move up and so on. That's what we focus on.
Yes.
So it's not get a work where
Yes.
we go and get you a work. We help to prepare you. We help you to do the JMB folks come in with their conversations for greatness for you to shift your mind to understand what's
Right.
going to, because we work on the mindset. And then you're in the job and we work with you
Yeah.
to stay in the job and the employer.
Yeah.
So it's a duty of care approach.
I take that. Keith, let me ask you this. The fact is that governments over time who say they're about development and improving the country, they spend a lot of time policy making, legislating, and wondering why the country can't improve. And it's because the people are not being given the attention that they deserve at the level that efforts like Project STAR seek to do.
Yes, most definitely. And in building all this community development model, the government has all the pieces all over. And when Kalando speaks to developing partnerships, the critical partnership here is the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Creating a safe space, building trust with the police and the communities, working in partnership. You know what the police say? This program works very well for them. They don't need to shoot themselves out of the problem.
Yes.
This is crime prevention.
Yes.
This is working with the people, taking at-risk youth, put them into micro-entrepreneurial programs, putting them into sports, engaging them productively. That's the element, one of the elements. And so therefore, taking all the partnerships, the Social Development Commission, HEART, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Ministry of Labour and Social Security, because you want to get people the benefits of the state that they're just not receiving because it's been done in a coordinated, integrated way. We are building an integrated community development model that we can scale across Jamaica.
Yes.
There are 120 communities in Jamaica that are defined by the POJ as vulnerable and volatile that need this support.
Yeah, just before we go to the break, let me give you one example of an individual. So here's a man, and I'm going to speak in the way they think and speak. So they say, boy, I have a little ganja charge one time, so I can't really go forward because of that. And I have the birth paper because my mother house it burned down when I just born. And I never two finish school. I have 3 subjects, but what I can do with that? So that's why I'm there on the corner because I really can't see my way through. Is it that Project STAR then straightens out the path to getting that birth certificate, seeing about getting an expungement for a trivial ganja charge, which of course it's decriminalized now? Is that what Project STAR sets out to do, Kalando?
Well, there are many, so there are many ways that we could respond to that. Obviously, anything having to do with the crime and the law, the police would have to take care of that. But being able
and the police are a partner, so it's already partner there,
right? So the details of how that gets sorted, I'll leave you to ask the police.
Yes,
that one. But when it comes to obviously getting a birth certificate, that's a social service that they can access, which we through our partnership with the RGD, etc., and JSIF and so on, we are able to see to that. Someone wants a job, or we've found as well, George, that somewhere between getting a job and having a business, you find what we've now dubbed our nano entrepreneurs. These guys who, whether it be you have a pump that you can use to wash your vehicle, or you have a sound system that you can get some jobs, they're not necessarily going to fit neatly into the workplace.
Right.
But they're of a particular mind that if you give them a nudge and a start somewhere else, then so we have a solution for that if the person wants it, because again we don't impose.
Right.
We if the guy comes and lays out like you just did, these are my issues and this is what I'd like some support, then we channel the support based on our partnerships.
We're in Maypen with the nano enterprise.
Yes.
The police identified within our planning process some at-risk youth, youth just like that, who are on, is either they can go here,
or there,
go down the wrong road, or we can grab them and we can see what they want, work with them. And we had them, they're doing chicken farming, goat farming, pig farming, car wash, they're doing fried chicken on Friday evening, You understand what I'm saying? I
Yes.
went out there and delivered with the police. The police were there and we went into the community. I wanted to see for myself.
Yes.
To feel it.
Yes, hear you. And on the point of feeling it as we take this break, John Holt sings about I Want a Love I Can Feel. Project Star is delivering the solutions that the people in the communities can feel, and that crucially, the kind of solutions that they say they want. Very, very crucial. More on Lead Story after this.
The time by Grace. Taste that moves you is
6:45.
These days, challenges are everywhere and things are constantly changing, but independent living remains the same. Rising above physical challenges, we can help you do it. For years, we have been Jamaica's trusted provider for solutions to improve patient care, safety, and the general quality of life. No matter your age or your physical limitation, we are the caring store, waiting to serve you. It's time to experience independent living. Visit us today.
Hi everyone, my name is Kurt Dunn.
Greetings from Kali's Kelly Yoga.
Hey, it's Robin Morrison, and I am your National Physical Activity Specialist. And it's time to make a move.
Jamaica, let's get moving again. Season 2 of the Ministry of Health and Wellness Jamaica Move series is here. Join us Wednesdays at 5 a.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on CVM TV. Let's get moving.
Make a move now.
Fan Central Pitside, brought to you by Edgechem, AIM Financial Corporation, Texaco, and Connex.
Marcia Griffiths culminates her diamond anniversary in reggae music, 60 years and counting. Sunday, November 3 at Hope Gardens with Marcia Griffiths and friends. A massive musical showcase featuring Jamaica's greatest artists on one stage. Marcia herself, Shaggy, Busy Signal, Tassan Chin, Elaine, Tanya Stevens, Nadine Sutherland, Cuddy Ranks, Rash Shiloh, Brick and Lace, Tony Gregory, and more. Courtesy of Appleton Estate, KFC, Water, Coca-Cola, HIC, Kendall, and Ranch Entertainment. Tickets available at marciagriffiths.com and cabtix.com. Marcia Griffiths and Friends, an iconic reggae moment you can't miss.
Welcome back to Lead Story here on CVM TV on this Tuesday evening. So here's the thing. Someone would ask, well, George, if it is that Project Star is indeed going in the right direction, it's on the right track, at what point does the government lend its support to the effort? The private sector organization of Jamaica has been front-running with the project in lockstep with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. And if it is that there's more support to the effort, then more can be done. And why 5 communities when there are so many communities, as mentioned by Keith Duncan, that are in need of the kind of support that Project Star intends to provide? So I'll put that to the gentleman to say, how soon are we able to get Project Star outside of the Fortunate 5, if we can call them that right now, and what entreaty have you made, if any, to the government to lend some support so that the funding increases, so of course you can increase the scale?
Yes. Thank you, George. And we are non-political.
Yes.
We have carried the leader, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, we have carried the Minister of National Security, we have carried Minister Dana Dixon in, we have carried Mark Gordon into the community, the opposition leader. We have shown them the program, demonstrated how it works, let them hear for themselves from the people, and we have the results. You know, we have the results that show that in these communities that crime is down significantly.
Yes.
Crime in these communities have decreased much faster than the national average, coming from over 400% of the national average to 117% of the national average. So therefore, the national average has come down in crime, but star communities have come down a lot faster.
Right.
How do we get more people on board? The private sector has taken us out to the ground and got us here. The government of Jamaica through HART and the Ministry of National Security have come forward. We now need to get the government and the wider Jamaica to come on board, support the effort to scale this program. We have developed a model which is scalable. We have the numbers, we have the data, we have the evidence of a working model. As the police commissioner says, it's an experiment that has worked. So therefore, we now need to scale it. And we are here, George, to say, Mr. George Davis, let's get the word out there. Let us scale this program and get this to wider Jamaica. While we focus on education and human capital development of Jamaica. That's what we need if we're going to have a good future for this country.
Yes. Kalado, what has been part of the basis for the success in bringing down the serious crime rates in these communities? Is it just that people have an alternative, a pathway to an alternative, or just the fact that the police is so close in the space working that it has put a damper on crime? What would you attribute it to?
Well, for STAR, we always say it's and. So it's not one thing. It's this and that and that and that. So it's a number of things that we would, and even though we're continuing to look closely at what correlates to the changes in terms of when we're in the space versus Zozo, etc., the police work and so on. So, but our approach is a mixed. It's a mixed bag of things. So when we're in the space, we're targeting the at-risk youth. Like we gave you an example, and he talked about how the police work with those guys. We're working with the elderly. We're working with, we have a school feeding program, which the residents had pointed out in one of our communities. And through partnership with two of our donors, we're able to impact specifically school attendance among early childhood.
Very important thing.
Right? And we've seen that between one of the year 2, September to May, we've seen a 68, moving from 68% to over 80% attendance with the targeted group that we're looking after. And so we have that. So you have the elderly, you have the children, we have an after-school program, we have a parenting club, we have sports. And then we're also doing our employment program in every community that we're working. And so a mix of things can impact the communities, because the one mother explained that being able to provide lunch or have a meal for her child means she can use the little resources she has to do something else. So you see the immediate impact. The data tells us as well, if you're looking at violence and crime, children are more likely to be impacted by violence in the home if they're at home. You see how that becomes a compounded issue if you can't send them to school and you feel bad even as a parent and you're frustrated, and your frustration and maybe your spouse and whatever like an argument and the children are overhearing that and you're kind of perpetuating the cycle. Except if we find a way to make it so that you can have the child in school and then you can put them in an after school program and then they can be engaged in sport, you're immediately reducing the risk and increasing the resilience.
And in the way that you have answered, in case someone came in late and wondering, well, how is the transformation happening at the granular level? I think you'd have just articulated that right there. Keep before we go, I have to ask you about the novelty of the social stock exchange element. Yes,
so we wanted to go to the wider Jamaica. We wanted to utilize the mechanism of the stock exchange to invest in public, for them to come on board. To invest in the future of Jamaica. And it means that we want to invest in communities. Now, everybody in the private sector was saying, boy, crime is a problem in Jamaica, so what are we going to do about it? Are we going to be investing in crime prevention? Or, the government of Jamaica has done a good job of building up the national security architecture. Wider Jamaica needs to come on board and invest in our people. We can't live uptown and then downtown, 5 minutes from New Kingston, people that suffer real bad. We have to invest in our people. It's our brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
If you want a better Jamaica, come on board and do it. And therefore, through the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, we offered it to wider Jamaica. We didn't get all the support we wanted, but we'll be back.
Lastly, Kalando, what word do you have of motivation for the soldiers that Project STAR has deployed who are directly interacting on Project STAR's behalf with individual community members? And they've been doing a good job.
But the approach that we're taking is that we need the people to own the work, to own the anything that's going to happen in the space, they have to own it. And understand that we're doing work that is making Jamaica better.
Yes.
So that when we get older and we can live in a country where we're happy that the people who are running it are making decisions that are going to be to our benefit for the time that we have left, and they're going to almost like pay it forward to keep creating a better Jamaica.
Yes.
Our star approach is we want to live in a Jamaica. We believe that if we work together, we can create a Jamaica where everybody is valued and everybody has the opportunity to thrive.
And lastly, Keith, I'll say to you that what I'd encourage you to do is to seek to put forward some of the star alumni so that Jamaicans can see individuals from these troubled communities who, through this effort, who have been given an avenue away from the crocs and the alligators and the Philistines who would blight their futures.
I totally agree. And we have so many stories to demonstrate, so many stories to tell. And we have them in the testimonials right there on our Project Star Instagram page, Facebook, etc. There are so many stories. We need to do a better job of communicating it so that we can get people more on board. But you know what? One of the reasons why you may hear that violence is down, because 70% of the violence in Jamaica comes from marginal and vulnerable and volatile communities, such as these star communities. 70% of the violence. So if we focus on these communities, right, and as we scale this and focus on these communities, and can you imagine the difference we can make?
I can well imagine. And the last thing I'll say as we wrap the program is this. As I said, I've spoken to several people who said, boy, the amount of money that we've spent on social intervention in this country, the returns are paltry, and the approach needs to be refreshed. It needs to undergo a rebirth because it's not working. Project Star has shown that it's not a problem with intervention, it's the quality of the intervention. And as you've heard the gentleman here on the program stress, the solutions that have been designed and proposed to the people have been designed and proposed by the people themselves, who are saying that, listen, if you give me an avenue to get this, if you provide access to this, then with that, I can help to make a better future for myself. And if individuals in the community have that pathway, then the community improves. And of course, the national picture where the management of crime is concerned, that improves, and people having a realistic future to pursue. Project Star, 2 years old, and it's into its third year. It's running strong. The government, nudge, nudge, you need to come on board to support in a significant way. And the 5 communities that are benefiting now should be 500. And even so, the model can even be adapted if it's not just violence-prone communities that I'm sure something like this would serve well in, but communities that are underserved in other areas can benefit from a Project Star and the transformation therein. So hear what? I believe that it's a noble approach, and we should put our shoulder to the wheel and lend our intellect and our resources to this effort. That's my time here on Lead Story this evening. Make way for the news at 7.
Steve knows style.
That jacket! When was you in the Temptations? You are my alter ego.
And Steve gives in to his own temptation. Small business owners and independent contractors get affordable insurance with Sagicor Pro Shield. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight on CVM News at 7, tragedy at Campion. 8th grader struck dead by goalpost. Dr. Nigel Clark bids farewell to Parliament and Finance Ministry. Jamaican jurist sworn into CCJ. And Red Hills community on the brink of collapse. In the business report, cashless classrooms now a reality. While in sports, KC through to Manning Cup quarterfinals. This is CVM News at 7. Here is Nika Lewis.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, October 29, 2024. Thanks for joining us. The tranquil atmosphere of Campion College's compound was shattered by a harrowing event today. Eyewitness accounts vary regarding what transpired, some implying he was attempting to show off his agility, while others believe he simply lost his footing. Curlin Brown has more in this report.
It was a rather frightening scene on the compound of Campion College in the corporate area late afternoon. A young rugby player had to be rushed to hospital after a bizarre incident. The second former was reportedly in a training session with his peers when he was observed on the bar of the goalpost. It's not sure what caused him to lose his balance, but he fell on the field, and the post fell on top of him. Initial reports were he was critically wounded and had lost a lot of blood. News later surfaced he had succumbed to his injuries. In the wake of the incident, many students who witnessed their schoolmate in distress were left traumatized. Several rumors also surfaced. CVM News accessed messages from close associates of the school, angered by some of the comments and allegations in the public. One reaction explained the youngster was told repeatedly to stop swinging from the goalpost. It's further alleged he eventually jumped off, and the post came down with him, hitting him to the back of the head. Personal details were not immediately released about the teenager, pending notification of his close family. Campion College is at this time already still hurting from the death of another male student who drowned 2 years ago. Our newsroom understands some of his schoolmates are still undergoing counseling. Our newsroom extends condolences to the family, fellow rugby players, and the entire school population at Campion at this time. Of course, we will also continue to monitor this developing situation. Curlin Brown for CVM News.
Well, a civilian who visited a police station last week is now seeking to press charges against some police officers whom he says assaulted him on the premises. A video of the interaction with the police has gained much traction online, as you'll hear in this report from Trisha Gay Kelly.
A man has come forward to share his side of the story after he was allegedly assaulted while at a police station in St. Thomas. In a video circulating on social media, the police officers can be seen and heard asking the man to leave the premises. The civilian, however, who is a seasoned media professional, says he visited the station to learn how he could assist his friend who was arrested, but the police officers asked him to leave.
And he just walked down to me, choked me and said to take the phone out of his face, and swing to box me, and I wave my hand and it catch me on my hand. And then the other policemen that were there already just come down and grab me and was rushing to take the phone from me.
Things escalated when one officer threatened to harm the civilian.
Sir, how can the police... I got to leave to the station and have the purpose over here. Take the phone. No, it's outside. Box, sit down here.
The tussle ended when other officers allegedly intervened and brought the man into the station, where he was searched, arrested, and charged for assaulting a police officer, among other things. But the man insists he was the real victim.
I'm going to press charge for assault because he was the one that assaulted me. And I'm also going to press charge on the other officers. If they think I did something wrong, the proper way I would think that they would do is to say, sir, you're under arrest, turn around, put your hands behind you, or something like that. So because I did nothing wrong, everybody just come down on me and start push me down to the ground.
He has since reported the matter to the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM. Assistant Commissioner Hamish Campbell, after